Good evening. I'm accustomed to being pressed into service. I had no idea I was going to be doing the libation, but the ancestors have said that I should do this evening. My name is Karen Bozeman Gross. That is my government name, what was given to me by my parents, Drs. Eleanor and Wilfred Bozeman. However, I do in the Betty Shabazz village am known as Mama Akosua. So I am going to do this libation with that hat, Mama Akosua, which means girl child born on Sunday in the Akan tradition. Today I'm going to do an abbreviated version of the libation so that we may move on to the other parts of the celebration and enjoy this wonderful feast that has been prepared by our hostess and our host this evening. So without further ado, I want to offer a libation to our ancestors. And before I do that, I would like permission of the elders to grant me permission to conduct this libation. So that's anybody over 65.
Yeah, my bad.
Anybody over 65 stand here. Understand, you need to.
Just grant me permission to.
You have permission.
You have
Thank you
permission.
so much. And so the purpose of libation is to really get in touch with the ancestors, our genealogical ancestors, our ancestors from Africa, and our our ancestors in the struggle here in the United States of America and the diaspora, as well as our own personal ancestors. These are the ones we want to bless us this evening and make this a joyous celebration. So I will do the abbreviated version. And as we pour libation, normally we have to have a plant. This is an aloe vera, so I'm not going to overwater the aloe vera. I will pour a little bit in there, but the rest of it I will pour in this right here so that I don't drown our aloe vera plant.
It's dry. It is so dry.
It's dry? Okay. It's dry. Okay, so make it dry. No, just kidding. So I will pour a little, but I do not want to overwater it. And so we will pour libation, and as I say libation, we will say Ashe. Ashe is like the Americanized Southern version of amen. It means let it be so, let it move forward, let us all come together. So Ashe is a general term and has many layers of meaning. So the purpose here is just simply to say, let it be so. So I want to pour libation, first of all, to the ancestors of many, many names who are from the Kemetic region, the Nile region, the ancient ones of thousands of years ago, who are our predecessors and have been documented through their travels through the northern part of Africa, down through Ghana, Benin, Nigeria. And we're going to pour and we're going to say libation to those original ancestors. Ashe. Ashe. And then we are going to pour libation to all of those warriors throughout Africa that resisted domination by European influences. They were many. They were in Mali, they were in Benin, they were in Ghana, they were in Nigeria. They were all parts of West Africa, and that has definitely been documented, and their names are many. So I will call them our ancestors of West Africa, who many of whom are our predecessors of us coming here to the United States. And when I pour and say libation, Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe.
And then we will move forth to those ancestors who were died in the Middle Passage and were not able to make it to Brazil and to Cartagena, Colombia, and to Cuba and to Haiti, and then eventually to New Orleans, and eventually up the coast along to Plymouth and in Virginia and all other things along the coast. They weren't even able to make it there. And we want to pour and say libation we want to pour libation for those ancestors who did not make it through the Middle Passage.
Ashe.
We want to pour libation to all of the ancestors who did make it and many of whom are our foreparents from regions of Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, Cartagena, Colombia, especially with a slave castle there, Panama, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, all the way to New Orleans and the others that I've mentioned before. Those are the people that, for many of us, made it there in Louisiana and Mississippi and Arkansas and Alabama and Tennessee and North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and so forth and so on. These people did make it here and are our direct ancestors, to which we may be able to trace our lineage. Ashe.
Ashe.
We pour libation to the era of the Reconstruction, moving to the civil right, with the early civil rights era of W.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, all of those in the 1920s, who were laid the foundation for us for our present civil rights era that we can identify. We know and have touched many of those heroes and heroines, but we want to pour libation to the early ancestors of the 1920s.
Ashe.
We pour libation for those of the civil rights era that we can identify, and we know many, many names such as Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, their wives and their cohorts, who really laid the foundation, broke through the Jim Crow era, and established an opportunity for us to vote, and the forerunners of the Barack Obamas and others who came into political power that we can recognize, touch, and many of us know. And we pour libation to all of those.
Ashe.
Ashe. And now what I'd like you to do is, just speeding a little further, I'd like you to think of personal ancestors that you have who have guided you here. They could be a big mama, they could be a granddaddy, a papa, an auntie, a mama or nana, or however you want to call it, who are responsible and have touched you personally and allowed you to be successful in the careers that you have. And so I will start, first of all, with my parents, Drs. Eleanor and Wilfred Bozeman, medical specialists in Akron, Ohio, who are the reason that the direct reason that I am here, as well as their parents, who put forth the idea of really looking for their people and standing up for their people, and have passed that gene on to me in terms of working with the youth and being grounded in Black consciousness. And so I pour libation to my parents, Drs. Eleanor and Wilfred Bozeman.
Ashe.
And please call out the names of yours. I'm just going to pour, so just you don't have to wait. Just shout their names out. Shout their names out.
Aunt Betty Spike.
David
Send that
Day.
Shout
dollar
their
for coffee.
names out. Shout their names out.
Marguerite.
My father, James
William.
Gross.
Sylvia Taylor. Wilbur Taylor.
My grandmother, Levada Porter.
More. Come on. More.
More. Come on. Energy.
Anybody? Anyone else?
Mary Stevenson.
All right.
Excellent.
Carl Watley.
Excellent.
Ashe.
Excellent. And where is your husband? Where'd he go? Come on, call out one of your ancestors. You're the host.
Mary Stevenson is
Yvonne.
Ashe.
Yvonne.
All right. Let's pour it.
Absolutely. All right, and we pour libation to all of our personal ancestors who have guided us and are responsible for us being here and celebrating this Kwanzaa.
Ashe.
And then finally, we want to pour libation for the children who are here. Well, not finally, before the final, the children who are here. Raise your hand, and anyone under 18 is considered a child as part of this celebration. On a Kwanzaa table, we usually have ears of corn, but that's okay. We're going to pretend they're here, and we're going to pour libation to all of the children who are here and who celebrate this with us. I mean, it's for them. It's really for the future. We're about done in terms of anything new. I mean, we're really about done in terms of that. We really are pouring this for them, and that they will carry the mantle and that they will get reparations, and that they'll do great things out here in the community. And let's pour and say libation for our youth.
Ashe.
And finally, we pour a libation for any child that is yet to be born. Many of us here that will be grandchildren, great nieces, nieces, great nieces, great sons, all of those nephews, all of those who are yet to be born, and that we are making this a greater place for them.
Ashe.
All right, and then I have to ask, and I hope that the ancestors are satisfied with this libation.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. That was
All
beautiful.
right.
Let's give Sharon a hand. Thank you so much. Thank you so lovely. All right, we're going to carry on with the lighting of the candles. Okay, the first principle